now here to the home of the Slovenia champion and Ferrari's biggest fan, as we are going to show you one of the most amazing and intense qualifying sessions over here, definitely in recent memories, as we were chasing, obviously, the uncharted territory in the history of the Formula 1, as we were also chasing as best ever start to the Formula 1 season in terms of qualifying. So, did we make it? What do you think? 3, 2, 1, make your choice! Of course we did! Yeah! So over here, this one will be a very, very heavy qualifying session at Bahrain International Circuit, the so-called Sakhir Circuit, and we will show it to you on in the 4K 60 resolution on this beautiful Scuderia Red Retina iMac, and of course, you will have also seen, just the tension, that there was when I put that SF1000 T818 Formula 1 racing simulator, to the limit to deliver a magnificent time that was 0.044 seconds faster than what the nearest competitor, who of course, from whom we've taken that Formula 1 record of the most successive pole positions, Max Verstappen, of course, he really pushed us to the limit. So, we knew right from the beginning that this was probably going to be the weakest track yet. Obviously in Australia, there were some weather issues. In Japan, it was just a bit unlucky that we ran off the track, right? And, otherwise, we could have scored very popular victories there. So as we are chasing over here our 4th victory at the Bahrain International Circuit, our 61st overall. We also going to be going for the 62nd fastest lap. We're also chasing our 73rd pole position, and of course the 4th here at the Sakhir International Circuit. So this used to be, one of the tracks I really enjoy, especially in 2010-2010 and 2016-2016 when we've been on pole position. But we've been beaten in qualifying by a whisker in 2017-2017. Obviously, last year we were on pole, and in 2023-2023 we botched the qualifying altogether as we were getting used to the battery deployment. And yes, it was precisely the battery deployment that was actually a big issue over here. And that thankfully, the battery deployed on that final burst from the final turn into the final line, so that I can deliver a magnificent time, which you will see very, very shortly over here. It was just good enough for pole position. So yeah, I'm absolutely ecstatic and cannot wait to celebrate with you. So the weekend, obviously, so far, we want to, get back to the winning ways. Obviously, Japan wasn't ideal, and yeah, I have to say, for the first time, we hit a bit of a roadblock in practice sessions, because when we did the qualifying pace program, we haven't perfected it on the first try. Thankfully, in practice too, we perfected it, but we knew that maybe we didn't have, that ultimate pace, so to speak, right? We didn't even dip into 1 minute 30 seconds, for example, in practice 1, we did 1:31.2, but then, practice 2, practice 3, we were able to do about 1:30.3. So, we knew that obviously we had that pace, but how much of a pace, that was unknown. The setup, big issue with the setup is the fact that, which setup to run, right? So basically when I run the low wing, it's really difficult, to get off some of the turns, and especially, to keep the car planted through some of the, fast turns. So you lose a lot of the time, but when you put in a lot of the wing, almost Monaco-like wings, that's what we are running over here, as you will see obviously during the race, because we are in Parc Fermé now. What that means, of course, is that, we, I hope, won't be sitting ducks, in a race, right? Because we usually are one of the fastest in a straight line, of course, with the Ferrari power, and now it's a challenge to make it into the top 10. So when the qualifying started, most of the practice was obviously during the daylight, but it's a first night race of the season. And of course, that means slightly different conditions. And I would say the track has gotten faster, definitely for, our competitors. So we, immediately put in a time of 1:30.8. Wasn't gonna be enough. I was like, wow, in the time trial with that low wing setup, I couldn't even master the time. But thankfully, I had a bit more of a wing, so I knew I could go quicker. I was only 3rd, so, qualifying 1, we pretty much stuck what we were good with, and, what I'm really proud of, that we still managed, despite how close the qualifying was, that we managed to save, crucially, 1 set of the soft tires, so that can be very significant in a race, because we are running very hard compounds, the hardest compounds available here in this season. So what of course happened was that I went out, did the bunker lap. It was only good enough for P3, no way, right? I'm on the run of 9 consecutive pole positions, so we want to go for 10, right? The last time we haven't been on pole position was when we hit the stationary Alonso at the exit of obviously, you know, that Brazilian, that Interlagos pit lane. So, you know, of course, also ever since, you know, we missed the braking into turn 1 in Italy, you know, that was the last time we were actually second, not first on the grid for the Grand Prix. So a great run of 11 successive Grand Prix pole positions, and yeah, we simply went for it. But you know, I was able to improve to 130.0, so I was like, this is great. Qualifying 2, you know, I did 134.4, and actually that again was not good enough, right? You know, I was still getting beaten. I was still in a P3 behind the Red Bull and I believe the McLaren. So, you know, I did then, you know, cool down lap, recharge the battery, went for a banker lap. Again, the tires wouldn't be at their best, but we would have absolutely as little fuel as you know, possible, so we wouldn't run out of it, obviously. And yeah, we managed to do 130.0 again. And that would be the fastest time of the weekend, but just then I was wondering, like, you know, I was always leaving, you know, a bit on the table, so I was like, 129 is definitely possible. If you want to be on pole position, you gotta master this, you know, amazing racing track in less than 90 seconds. Did I manage to do it? Of course I did! So Q3, right, you know, all of the pressure is there. I did 130.1, just beaten Verstappen, great, you know, already celebrating a little bit, but, you know, we always say, you know, don't, you know, celebrate until you actually have, you know, have crossed the finishing line. And yes, we recharged the battery, went for it, and we only had this run, so very similar to what happened in, for example, China, right, where it was this run or nothing, right? We had to, you know, improve, even though we didn't actually know it at the time, because we wouldn't have enough time to then actually go back, you know, put on a new set of tires and, you know, go again. And yeah, I did manage to do that. As you will see, maybe I still left the time, you know, braking into turn 10 and, you know, in the first sector, so I could definitely do maybe 129.6, 129.5. But thankfully, you know, that battery helped me out because I didn't get a great exit out of the final turn. That's also where we lost a bit of a time. So far from ideal lap, even though I think I pretty much nailed it. But yeah, thankfully, you know, with that deployment of the battery, which we didn't have on the first, you know, time around, that really helped us to put it on pole position. So now everybody in our Ferrari Team Pro Polo, let me know how you like this fashion. You know, it's very, very comfortable. Just obviously, you know, it is the medium size, so a little bit tighter fit, but very comfortable, very appropriate for some championship racing. So do you want to see my 10 consecutive Formula 1 pole position? Of course you are. So over here, let me turn it around. Bahrain International Circuit, of course, sponsored by the state-run Gulf Air, and you can see it over here. You know, this one, there will be lots of emotions. Okay, so let's take a look at it. And you can see, yes, the beautiful, beautiful setup that we have over here. So let me now take it over here. You can see just how wonderful that Ferrari SF1000 T818 Formula 1 racing simulator looks like, and we are aiming over here also for the 5th pole position in a row to start the season with, as we are chasing that 5th Formula 1 World Championship. Look at that beautiful trophy. We won here 3 times. Will we win here 4 times? Well, one thing's for sure. We are on the pole position for the 4th time here in Bahrain. And yeah, I'm just, you know, ever so happy because obviously over here we are chasing some real records, and yeah, I really wanted to get the best start to the season. Last season we were the holders of that, but of course in the Chinese sprint qualifying it started raining. So here, can I make it 5 on the track, 10 successive and 12 for the Grand Prix? So you can see over here that I'm already deploying the battery. I'm trying to squeeze it as much as I can. And I'll let you enjoy it. 3, 2, 1. Let's go, yes, Alex, the champion. deployment over there. So yes, this was by a whisker. But yes, you can see how the qualifying finished. So yes, we will be very, excited, obviously. It will be a tough race. Look at the handsome man over here. Handsome smiling son, champion Ian, Ferrari's fastest driver on pole position. Only by 0.044 seconds from the Red Bull villain. So that's gonna be a big fight, obviously. Verstappen won in Japan, by half a minute. So, we hope we have a pace to challenge him. And third, George Russell over here. So Russell obviously doing great job so far this season, challenging for the championship. And yeah, the top three in the championship, top three in qualifying are illustrious teammate Lewis Hamilton for Scuderia Ferrari HP, only 4 tenths behind, but crucially in front of the McLaren boys. Fifth, Oscar Piastri McLaren. Sixth, Lando Norris McLaren. And then of course you have 7, Yuki Tsunoda Red Bull, already almost a second and a half behind, with 8, Pierre Gasly Alpine. Fantastic qualifying ahead of double champ Fernando Alonso for Aston Martin, and 10, the rookie Andrea Kimi Antonelli. So this is gonna be, quite some race, I have to say. Again, it is crucial to me, to start on pole position, but we will see again just how strong we will be. Especially at the beginning, I do expect that it could be quite a tussle, simply because, as you do know nowadays, it is with the 3 DRS zones, that will be very crucial, to simply stay ahead, especially at the beginning, because I think we clearly have the ultimate pace. But again, the big question is, do we have, the ultimate top speed, So over here, hope you guys, enjoy it. And now, let's celebrate over here with our medal. So, we are beating the records over here, at least in the qualifying. So that is fantastic. My 73rd qualifying pole position over here. And especially crucially, we've, made it a lucky 10 successive ones. 12, obviously, the Grand Prix that we are successively on pole positions. And so far, we did 5 qualifying sessions in the 2025 Formula 1 season. And we've always been on pole, yes! And this one by far the closest. So over here, everybody, let's enjoy it! Let's try the final fashion that we will use for this championship to taste that golden shiny medal. And it's there! Well, let's go on, smiling sun champion! Yes! Definitely, enjoy, especially, that view from the cockpit, as you will see the sheer, the raw emotion, as we made it. And it was some wait, we finished the qualifying, right? And, then basically had to wait for almost 2 minutes. And thankfully we made it. We obviously couldn't be there on a track to try to go even faster, but we will definitely do so in a race. So, the way I see it, again, I want to start on the mediums, but, I was, swarmed in Japan by these fast starting drivers on the softs, and who knows, right? Maybe my title contenders, if they are title contenders, at least at the moment they definitely are, if they are starting on the softs, we gotta keep them behind. I think actually, we are really good with the tires, so that is great, because I think, we could still do one stop. I believe that, going from the yellow medium, probably we cannot go very long to then simply change to the softs. Probably we will have to change to the hards, but that should be fine. The hard tire was also pretty fast. Even though it's the hardest compound, and if not, we have the 2 fresh mediums, 1 fresh soft, so we could do, medium soft, or soft medium, or medium soft medium. I know that we will probably need the full tank of the fuel, because it's very fuel intensive over here, as you can see, at the end of some of the straights, that, and I have the new engine, I should mention, so, that definitely helped us to get across the finishing line. So now, the first set of the engine will only be used for practices and for racing, using the second out of the 4 allocated ones that we have. So hopefully we can improve the durability, so we can stay out of any grid penalty. But for now, let's just enjoy the moment. Oh yeah. Let's go out, smiling sun champion, Ferrari's fastest driver. Hope you enjoy it. This was so much fun, wasn't it? And definitely stay tuned for a big race, the first night race of this 2025 Formula 1 season. We love racing, we love Formula 1, we love Ferrari. Forza Ferrari! Come on, Jan, come on! know, and of course, this is the 12th consecutive pole position for the Grand Prix proper since Italy and GP. You know, we haven't started, you know, anywhere else. This is our 4th pole position here in Bahrain. You know, and it was a real fight for it, I have to say. We will see what will happen in the race. Oh my God, I can't believe it was that close. Yeah, but you know, thankfully it worked out for me. Our 73rd pole position of our illustrious Formula 1 career, and you could have seen, you know, the tension, because the first lap was good, you know, but we've beaten Verstappen by, I think, you know, less than a tenth of a second, and then yeah, I'm so happy now. Yeah, then we managed, you know, to obviously improve by quite a lot, but you know, Verstappen really pushed it over here, as we can see, you know, in the end, you know, also Hamilton improved a little bit, just 4/10 of me. So, you know, this is the track. I think that, you know, the pace is the slowest in terms of, you know, going since the time trials. So, you know, we could already see when we started the practice that we were not able to perfect the qualifying pace immediately. And that was obviously a concern, because I knew I could do 129, but I've never done it with F125. I was flying with F124. But yeah, finally, you know, I've done it, and you know, we have a problem with the battery deployment, especially, you know, heading out of the final turn. A lot of the times the battery is kind of not deploying. I don't know why exactly that is, what is wrong with it, whether it's just overloaded or something, but yeah, that cost us a little bit, and we will see. You know, we go for you know, quite a lot of wing. So is that good? Is that bad? I'm not sure, right? I mean, you know, we did kind of the same like last year, but we're carrying more wings, so we will see what happens. But yeah, you know, I have to say that obviously we, you know, we did 130, you know, 0.0, right, in the time trial. So you know, we were kind of very curious to see what's gonna happen over here in the qualifying. But this is the first big success over here, and you know, we will see in a race. I mean, this looks very close, so nothing is forgiven, unlike maybe the previous 2 rounds, right? Obviously in Australia it was raining, but yeah, I have to say, you know, the qualifying one, we, you know, did a decent job, but, you know, 3rd position, you know, so we always had to do, you know, our traditional strategy that we know the best. So go out, do the lap, you know, the tires will be a bit cold, but, you know, recharge the battery, go again. So that also cost us a little bit of a performance, but I'm actually happy that a lot of the drivers went out again, because, again, you know, they will be just wasting, you know, additional set of tires, which is actually good for our race. And yeah, I'm just happy that we made it, you know, over here, because obviously we went a little bit earlier to make sure, you know, that we have a clear track, which we kind of didn't have, because again, Alonso is in front of us in the Q3, but you know, in the Q2, you know, it was pretty much, you know, the same thing. We set the time 130.4, you know, we knew we had to improve. We did 130.0, P1, great. You know, and then the qualifying 3 over here, pretty much, you know, the first pole, the first lap would be good enough for the front row. That would be our 5th front row once we qualify 2nd here in 2017, 2017. You know, I definitely don't want to, you know, have the season similar like that, even though it was obviously, yeah, pretty good, but not in terms of qualifying. And you know, yeah, we were able, you know, to push, and you know, it's a bit of a pity, because at the beginning we definitely lost the 10. You know, I would say, you know, we probably lost a 10th also, you know, just you know, heading, you know, into maybe the turn 10, and you know, going probably, you know, into the final turn, definitely, because you know, we haven't attacked it perfectly. Otherwise, I think we could have been, you know, even 2-3 tenths, you know, up. But the most important thing is we are on pole position, right? Yes. So everybody, let's celebrate over here, so we will get our Formula 1 Grand Prix winners medal for the 73rd time, 4th here in Bahrain. So this is absolutely fantastic. Yes, let me put it on. You know, and yeah, this is the best start to the season in terms of the qualifying. We've never managed to do the first 5 race sessions, you know, to always qualify on pole position. So, you know, we have a lot of pressure obviously over here. We will be aiming for the 4th, you know, Grand Prix victory here, our 61st overall. We're also going to go for the 62nd fastest lap, 3rd over here. So, you know, wish me good luck with that. You know, we don't know what to expect, you know, from the race. The tire degradation is quite severe, I have to say. So, you know, if the tire degradation is what it is, you know, probably be looking at the 2 stops, kind of like, you know, in maybe the previous, you know, race, even though we are running very high, you know, the harder tires, basically compound C1, C2, C3, they are the hardest compound. C3 is obviously the soft that everybody was using. You know, I have one set of fresh soft tires, so that is great. One set of fresh mediums, one set of fresh hard. So yeah, I think maybe we could even do the strategy like that. Actually, I have two sets of fresh mediums, and the mediums were quite good. I have to say, even the hards. So this is looking, pretty good, but we will see. I hope we've gotten the setup right. I wouldn't like to obviously, be overtaken. We will see, over here, with the 3 DRS zones, how it will go. But I think, in the middle, we're having a clear pace advantage. And I think if we are able to exploit it, we will be flying, right? Of course. So everybody over here, this was my amazing pole position. I hope you enjoy it. This is exactly how I planted it on a pole position with the Ferrari SF1000T 818 Formula 1 racing simulator. You could see, the emotion kind of like with the Chinese GP pole, because it was really important to keep the run going. We know some of the tracks, obviously, you're doing better, some worse. We won here 3 times, but again, that setup is the biggest concern, and the biggest concern is that, the drivers are ever so close, but I also know that I could have gone quicker, and I think this was the overall personal best. My championship contenders are right next to me, so it will be a big fight. Let's enjoy it! And now, let's celebrate with the Formula 1, this medal for the pole sitter. It looks so beautiful, it looks so golden for the golden, smiling sun champion, Jan, Ferrari's biggest fan. We love Formula 1, we love racing, we love Ferrari. Forza Ferrari!